Welcome to Dell EMC Networking Tech Talk with OpenManage Network Manager, and this is for OMNM 6.5. This is Bill Acevedo, and today's topic is automation. We're going to talk about event-based automation and other event processing rules. So the automation is found on the Automation and Actions tab, and what you see is the automation and event processing rules portlet down near the bottom here. And so we're going to talk about a few things here. First, we're going to talk about what we call basically pre-processing, or non-automation. I'm going to start off here with protocol translation for Syslog escalation. So this is the ability to filter syslogs. And so the first part of doing syslogs, number one, let me go over to the alarms and definitions page. In order to start getting syslogs, there is we basically bring those syslogs in and convert them into traps. In order for us to do that, you need to look at a specific event called Assured Alarms MIB. And so this is syslog notification. Normally this is in a suppressed or rejected mode out of the box. And so you need to come in here and edit this. And you need to set this to alarm. Otherwise, it's just not going to even be, we're not even going to deal with the packet when it comes in. So by default, they're going to be, I believe, suppressed. And so the caveat with that is once you start bringing stuff in, it means every single syslog from every single device that you are sending syslogs from are going to start coming into the system as events. Now, you may not want to do that to have everything come in. And so you're going to have a little bit of control over that and maybe filter out things that you don't want. So you do that with the action that I'm going to show you here. I'm going to do a right click here. I'm going to say new protocol translation syslog. So this is where you say, okay, we want syslogs to come in, but we want to be a little more strategic on what we're going to actually persist in the alarm window. So say next, and you add some filter conditions. And so this could be from a specific device, a specific sysobject ID, entity, name, type, equipment, protocol, whatever it is, you can add that here. So maybe it's just a piece of equipment. You can pick the equipment here if you need to. So you're only going to process syslogs from that box. Now, it could be more than one. You didn't have to have one. You can have multiple devices here. But then this is where you add the escalation criteria. What do you want escalated up as an alarm? You can add criteria here to match specific message text. This is regex type of matching. You can change the severity of a syslog, which is normally indeterminate, and make it a critical if you want to. If you have specific message patterns, this is also regex to match on specific patterns. There's category templates that you can use, other message templates you can use, or you can just suppress if you want to suppress certain ones that you're getting rather than process them. You can do that as well. So there is a test message you can put in here as well and test it to make sure your regex and everything is working. But anyway, that's the first level here of pre-processing rule is the syslog escalation. The second one here is for items where you want basically what's called a stream-based correlation. We'll look at one of these as an example, frequency type threshold. Go to the next one here. I got that name already. Hit next one more time. So this is also where you basically specify an event. So we're gonna see here that there's gonna be settings related to this, but let's just go and pick an event where we want to have a frequency threshold. Normally it's be something like a link up, link down, or flapping port. You can search here easily for your event, just by for something with link in it. And so I could put like a link D if I want a link down or something. Search for that. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick one here. So add selection. I can do multiple here, by the way, multiple events. And then you can add filter conditions again to further refine this if you wanted to. But the meat of this is on the settings where the frequency pattern that you can set, expiration time specified in seconds. And so, what do you want that to be? The event threshold, the number of events required before the event is published. So if you want this to happen, 5 times, with this pattern, and you can do whether you want reject or suppress if you wanted to. Then you can publish the frequency start and stop events if you want to. And so, and basically you would just get another event saying that. But it allows you to give you that kind of control over basically what we're calling frequency type thresholds. You can also do a similar thing with state flutter, and then there's also one for definition override. Now, all of these, we're going to have probably a separate tech talk, a deeper tech talk on all of these. I'm just giving you a high-level view right now. But on the event definition override, you may want to do something like, I'm getting something in and I want to always reject it. Maybe it's from a specific device or from a specific port. You always want to reject it or always suppress it. Or maybe you want to set severity from a specific device always to a certain, critical. Everything else is maybe informational, but you want this one to be set to severe or that sort of thing. And so you have that kind of capability here. Similar to the other screens. I keep using test, which doesn't work. Again, you have filter conditions and as well as the event. If you don't specify an event, it will mean any event comes in will hit that, trigger that pre-processing rule. In this case, I need one. Just gonna grab one here. Done. Yeah, you can add some filter conditions and say next. So here now we're saying set severity to major. So now we're saying our EPR is saying basically if it's this event, it comes from this IP, let's just go ahead and set it to minor. And so you have that full flexibility to configure those however you like. The final one here is the automation one, which is the real meat of this for automation. So so these are all formed in the same way, but the way these work, of course, you enable these, but you do the same thing. You put in an event that you want to be triggered. Again, it could be linked down or something like that. And there's getting a lot of link downs here. I'll pick one here. Add selection done. So when this link down comes in, I want to do some action. And so maybe I don't care I don't need any other filter conditions. I'm going to say if any link down comes in, so I'm not going to put any filter conditions. So then I want to go on to explicit members is more of a way to force if it comes from a specific device. You don't necessarily need that here, but so the power in the automation comes in this actions area. Now I do hope that you have already seen the actions video, the previous actions video. It shows you how to create your own actions. There are some preceded actions it talks about as well, but this is where you can say if a link down comes in, I want to email it. And so you can put some recipients in here. Could be a distribution list or whoever, but this is how you get an email out. Of course, I spelled it wrong, but you got one or more, call it notify admins. And add your specific email header, subject, whatever you want in here. There's actually more information you can get from the system using, if you look in our help, you'll see that these curly braces, there's a variety of attributes you'd include in the email. If it's not included in the actual trap or the event var bind, you can actually pull information we've gotten through discovery about the equipment and include that in the subject header or footer. But you can also do SMS if you want to text somebody. So anyway, that's, let's say you want to do that, but you can also add other actions. And so we can draw on our full action inventory to go do other things. It might be something like a backup. I could pull that action in. Okay, so a bunch here with the backup in it. Net config backup right there. So I want to go, if I get this event, I want to do a backup, apply. I want to add an action to go do my custom action. And so before in my other prior demos, I had one, a variety that have demo in it. But maybe I've created my own action to go and configure a VLAN or who knows what it is. It could be anything. And you can give it parameters here if you want to fix those parameters here. But anyway, you can string together a whole bunch of actions that will be automated based on when that event comes in. So it gives you a lot of power to you can just send emails, which is fine, and notifies you, but you can also be reactive automatically. And so when, if you want something to happen based on an event, you can actually go do it automatically and not have to wait for somebody else to come in and do it. A common situation is, we'll talk about our ProScan application later, but you can set for something to scan a device and look for something like SNMP Community Public. And if that's on the box, that's a policy failure. But the policy will emit an event called a compliance policy failure for that particular policy. Well, you can actually grab that event, and it will know what device it came from, and actually hook in an action to go and take that SNMP community public off the box, just by sending an action that says no SNMP community public. And so that's the kind of automation you can do to resolve issues before they become big problems. So that is a bit of a whirlwind through our automation. Again, the automation can run. Go back to one of these screens here. Let me grab one that's new automation. So you can have these execute only, on alarm creation only. If you want to use the explicit membership, this will be checked here, and it would only execute against certain targets. Gives you a little more flexibility there. And again, any number of actions can be added. Since I checked that box, you'll see here that the added explicit entities is added here. So it allows me to add member entities here, one or more. I said one for now. And then you can add, criteria to override certain things. You can add action parameter overrides. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility to deal with how your actions are going to get executed automatically through your automation. Okay, that's a high-level pass on our event processing rules and automation. I hope you found that useful. We will have more advanced sessions and videos on how to actually make these, show them working and real-world use cases. For now, I'm just wanting to give you a high-level overview on how these actions can work and how they might benefit you. I hope that was useful. Thank you.